In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Have you seen the cattle grazing in the open? As and when there is a lot of vegetation and the animals are grazing from there are all sort of vegetation. Some of these are quite nutritious and quite healthy, while another some of these weeds are toxic and poisonous, too poisonous to be consumed by the animals grazing over there. Now, these animals, although these are the animals, not the humans, they do know what to eat and what not to eat, what to consume and what not to consume. So, although there is all sort of vegetation, but these animals, these cattle, consume the healthy food only and leave the rest. They don't eat the toxic food. They don't eat the poisonous herbs, poisonous weeds. They don't eat that. Although nothing is made useless by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything else has a certain use of. So these, the rest of the weeds and the poisonous and the toxic, all of these things might have some medicinal values, and the herbalists know it better. Not our topic today. But one thing is there. One thing which is there is that these animals, though these are animals, but they don't consume the toxic food. This is for us, the humans who are the ordinary humans, have no education in the herbalism, have no education and no information and knowledge about the herbal, about the herbs, about the weeds, about the vegetation. We cannot differentiate between what is good and what is not good, what is healthy and what is toxic. But these animals, since they do have to consume it, so they do know it. They do know it as well. But Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has kept a kind of indicator in their mind that this is what to eat and this is what not to eat. They might be able to, know about because of their smell or whatever. I don't know. I have no reason to talk further about that. Simply, it is enough for us, but that these cattle does not consume a toxic food from there. Although all sort of herbs and all sort of weeds are available over there to eat, to be consumed. For us, the humans, for us, the general humans, for us, the humans who have no education, knowledge, information about the herbs, all the weeds are equal, all the vegetation might be equal. Rather, some of those which are toxic might seem more beautiful, might seem more attractive to us. Now, leave it aside, and now I want to say something else. What I do want to say is that what I do want to say is that we too have to eat. We, the humans, too have to eat. Some of the foods, some of the things being consumed by the humans are useful and beneficial, while another some of these are not. But the trouble with the humans is that humans sometimes, because of the player, are found consuming the things which are bad for the health, despite the fact that they know it. Yet they are they become sometimes uncontrollable because they are seeking pleasure, they are seeking momentary happiness, and for that momentary happiness and pleasure, they are even going to risk their life, their health. They do their health, they put their health in the risk. This is what happens. Now there is another type of food for the humans as well, and that is the food to our mind, food for our thought, food for our mind, food for our brain. Now, as far this food is concerned, people are not well aware. Most of the people are not well aware whether this food is useful, beneficial for my psychological health or not. Whether this is a good food, healthy food for thought, or unhealthy food for thought. Now, people might say and might ask, since all of the things are available over there to be read and to be watched and to be listened, so people are of the view that whatever we watch, whatever we read, whatever we listen, even whatever we think, goes right into our mind as a food for our thought. It is not actually. It is not actually. The case is whatever we accept. If I read somewhere something, I watched something, I listened something, or it came to my mind automatically, but I did not believe in it. I rejected it. This means that I refuse to provide this food to my mind, to my thoughts. I did not accept it as a food for thought. I have rejected it as a food for thought. And vice versa, whatever I read, I watched, I listened, I conceived, but accepted it as well, believed in it as well. Now, this thing has become my food for thought. This is a food for thought. Now, if this food is a toxic one, if this food is a negative food, definitely I am going to be negatively affected by that. I'm going to be hurt by that. I'm going to be troubled by that. I cannot maybe stay away from the kind of trouble it contains, from the kind of toxicity it contains. I do have to suffer it. But if at all it is a healthy one, it is a useful one, it is a positive one, then automatically, I will be positively affected by it. I will be positively affected by it. I will be rather getting the benefits of it automatically because it will go right into my system. Both the negative food and the positive food, whatever I accept, it goes right into my system. Whatever you accept goes right into your system. Once it does go into our system, mean we start believing upon it, we start practicing it, we keep this thing in our mind, we do repeat this thing in our mind again and again. Now this thing is going to give us either the benefit or the losses, either the players or the trouble or the pain, because whatever its effects are either positive or negative, I cannot stay away from all that. I do have to suffer it, I do have to bear it. But if it is a useful one, plus one thing is accepting it, the other is repeating it. The more often I repeat a negative thought, the more hurtful, the more toxic, the more poisonous, the more useless, the more harmful it will become. If I'm repeating it again and again, it means I'm accepting it again and again and again. This means that I've accepted it from the very depth of my heart. And now coming to the positive things which I have accepted it if I have just accepted it, now the more I repeat it in my mind, in my conscious and my subconscious mind, the more I repeat it mean the more doses I take of something which is positive, the more beneficial, the more healthful, the more useful, the more playable it will become. Repeating it, circulating it in the system, circulating it into the system of our mind, circulating whatever we do circulate into the mind, into the mind gets automatically circulated into the body, because the mind control the body, because the mind control the whole of us, because the mind control the whole of the system. So for that reason, I think it is very important, and very important indeed to be very careful, to be very cautious, and to be very choosy about the food we do select for our thought. If we had chosen the wrong food, we will be suffering a lot. The more we repeat it, the more we believe it, the more we will suffer. And the positive food, if we just accepted it, it will give us little benefit. But if at all we keep repeating it, keep circulating it in the system, it will become more and more beneficial, it will become more and more useful, it will become more and more healthful. Now it all depends upon me and you, whatever we opt for. I believe that we will be choosing something positive, constructive, useful, beneficial, not the not toxic one.